Hey yo.
Hey, yo.
Welcome to The Burial Ground, the most must-see talk show in all of sports entertainment. And Clyde, man, do we have a fantastic show tonight.
Yes, that's right. We're going to go right into it and talk about Monday Night Raw live in Chicago, Illinois at the Allstate Arena, and you can hit the video footage.
Oh yeah, it was a great one. When Raw started, I was very surprised.
I see who's coming
And
out.
who could it be? You
Who
heard
is
the
it?
glass shatter. And what would JR say?
Stone Cold, Stone Cold, oh my God, is that Kevin Owens in the Austin 316
Yeah,
shirt?
there
Oh
he
my
was.
God.
Yeah,
Why is he here doing this? He's running off Stone Cold. Oh, he
Couldn't
missed a
even
beer
catch it.
catch?
Oh, but
no.
it was
Oh
all
my God.
planned.
Oh
Because
my
we all
God.
know, just like last
Kick,
week.
Stunner. Austin. It's Owens 316
Nah.
says, "I just whipped your butt."
I sold that stunner much better than that.
You think
beer
so?
Man. For sure, without a doubt, I sold it way better. But that's not the point.
That's the new Stone Cold Steve Austin IPA beer that's now available nationwide.
This is not a paid advertisement, by the way.
No, it's not. I will be having that.
Yeah. Hey, we're of age. But yeah, no, that whole segment was fantastic. I couldn't believe it. It's the most classic way for any sort of wrestling heel to gain heat. I think is just having that fake out. And then they faked him out again, actually. We didn't show it, but after he came out with the Stone Cold music during the promo, we heard the glass shatter again. We thought, Stone Cold's here.
Oh, nah, that's another repeat that he did. Owens tried to repeat the same thing that happened at Michaels and Hogan rivalry from SummerSlam 2005. Michaels played Hitman music twice in Montreal, but
Yep.
there was no Hitman. There was Michael trolling the fans, getting everybody riled up, and then he played Hogan's music. Hogan didn't come out, getting the fans riled up again. That's a good act of a professional wrestling villain. So with Kevin Owens doing the same thing, using Stone Cold music, getting the fans engaged into professional wrestling, or not just in professional wrestling, just get them engaged. Oh, that's Stone Cold coming out. It drivens the fans' sanity and drivens me. It makes me mad because, you're not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
You are Kevin Owens. Why don't we hear your music? So with Austin coming back at WrestleMania 38 on Saturday, April 2nd, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, well, all things considered, even though it's not an actual match, it seems like it is going to be some sort of a match at the very least. Stone Cold has been preparing a lot to try and get back into ring shape, I've seen.
Correct.
And yeah, he's saying he's going to weigh a can of whoop butt right on Kevin Owens, and I'm excited to see what he has to do. Because, yeah, like we've seen Stone Cold get pretty physical in the past ever since he did retire. But at the same time, we haven't really seen too much of anything that really truly resembles a match. So I think this is going to be the first step into that. And then who knows, if this goes well, we could actually see him step into the ring in a legitimate match against Kevin Owens or against whoever else for that matter. But yeah, it's probably going to be against KO if he does have a match. But yeah, like it was just a very exciting segment. It got me to really just think that Stone Cold was there, and then he wasn't. But another segment on Raw that I thought was probably my favorite match of the night at the very least was Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. Because, AJ Styles came out, for the first part of the night actually, Seth Rollins was talking about how he didn't have his match, and then he kept on interrupting people throughout the show.
Spring late.
Yeah, he came back in the tag team segment to say that he had a brilliant idea when AJ Styles was out. We heard Seth Rollins challenge him, and the winner of this match would go on to face Edge at WrestleMania. But you know what?
We had AJ looking for the phenomenal forearm miss. Oh, rope break. Oh, he's down on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. So Rollins still got the upper hand. Suicide dive connects.
Cue the commercial break, but not for us, for WWE. 'cause that
AJ's
always
about
happens.
to finish him off. Oh, it's still chair shot by Edge.
Yeah.
Edge has cost AJ Styles a match, meaning that Rollins don't have a WrestleMania match as of right now. So Rollins looks pissed off.
Yep.
And Styles is still down. Edge is a verified heel. He's back as the ultimate opportunist. He is evil.
Yep,
I like the
it's
evil
about
Edge.
time.
But his new music I'm still trying to get into. I miss Protagonist.
It is the same band, actually. It's just
Correct.
a completely different song, even though he had the perfect song.
But it's more darker. It's more
is.
darker, more to his newer character, not more of his edge of like 2007, 2008, 2009, but more of a like 22 edge that even his own wife doesn't recognize. So with Edge going back into WrestleMania for the second or third year since his retirement, he is looking to win since he got double pinned with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
So Edge, even though he has a great WrestleMania track record, as well as AJ Styles, this may be a show stealer in night 2 of WrestleMania.
Could be.
But AJ Styles' last WrestleMania match last year was a tag team championship victory with Omos and.
Yeah, AJ Styles has had a great WrestleMania career so far, and same thing goes for Edge. And this is going to be one of the best matches on the entire show, for that matter, both nights. I think this match has the potential to steal the show, like you said.
Yes.
I think this is the match that I'm actually most looking forward to, just because we've never seen this match before. I think one of my biggest problems with WrestleMania this year is that we've seen a lot of the matches already. They're trying their best to change it up a little bit, but it's a great show, and that's going to be all for this segment. We'll be heading over to the commercial break right now, and when we get back, we'll go over SmackDown. Stick with us.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups for
Half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Welcome back to the Burial Ground. Last week on Friday Night SmackDown, we had Brock Lesnar returning to SmackDown since his match with Austin Theory at Madison Square Garden, and now he came back and he's in is that
in psycho mode.
Did Roman say what the blank? Is that a forklift?
Yeah, this segment was something else for sure. He tried to kill him
Is he
right
crying?
then and
Is
there.
Roman crying? Oh my God, that was his truck.
That was Roman.
Brock Lesnar is having a real fun time with that.
Oh yeah, he's a happy farmer, that's for sure.
So he got in another truck and took the hinges off the truck.
Yep, treating that door like it's Roman Reigns on WrestleMania right there, and he beats it a little bit more.
Out. Yes, he's about to talk to the fans.
Yep. Yeah, stomping on it just because why not? He has to fight something. You know, Brock Lesnar has been in an
Brock Lesnar
angry
right
mood.
here. Does he say Roman Reigns? I want your blood.
He does.
And at WrestleMania, it's all mine.
Yeah, well, we saw Lesnar get embarrassed at the Garden in that entire event when Roman Reigns kind of beat him senseless.
Oh, at the house show after Austin Theory match, correct?
Yep. Yeah, so Brock Lesnar was not in a good mood, and you could see it there. He just went straight for Roman Reigns' life. and the Usos for that matter, Roman Reigns' cousins, were with him, the tag team champions. And yeah, that was insane to watch. Like, this is completely new. I don't think we've seen a segment like that ever,
we
potentially.
haven't seen a segment like that since like the Corvette with Austin and McMahon in '98.
Okay,
so
yeah, there you go.
like going from there, we're going to talk about the Intercontinental Champion Ricochet. Why isn't he on television?
Yeah. The SmackDown show was pretty decent. I still think it's kind of been falling off for a while. Raw has kind of taken over as the A show, in my opinion. But I think the most interesting point about this past SmackDown was what wasn't on the show. Because how could the new Intercontinental Champion not be there?
Inconsistent booking. Ricochet has been champion for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks on the show, 2 weeks off the show. And back then, as your Intercontinental Champion, as the workhorse of the professional wrestling, you on every show, you're challenging anybody and everybody to retain your Intercontinental title. But WWE and SmackDown, whoever's the head of creative or SmackDown, needs to book the Intercontinental Champion. We are like 2 weeks before WrestleMania, and no Intercontinental Champion. I don't get it.
Yep, yeah, we definitely want to see the Intercontinental title get defended at WrestleMania, as we always do. Like, growing up, personally, I thought that was my favorite title. Just the past champions like Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio, and so many others have held that title with such prestige. And it's a shame to see how it's getting booked recently. Shinsuke Nakamura barely defended it before he lost it to Sami Zayn. Then Sami Zayn just instantly lost it to Ricochet. And now Ricochet is just not even on the show. It's nothing against him. I truly think he is one of the most talented wrestlers on the entire roster. From an in-ring perspective, just some of the things that Ricochet is able to pull off are just, like, no one can do it like him.
I tend to agree. As well as, let's talk about Pat McAfee. He apologized to Austin Theory, but he got Austin Theory tend to still get the upper hand against Pat McAfee. In regards to the WWE SmackDown titles, we got the Usos going to defend the SmackDown title against Nick
Nakamura.
Nakamura and Rick Boogs. So that is cool. And as well as we have, what else we have? We have Sami Zayn in Knoxville.
Oh yeah.
As of right now, Sami Zayn telephone number was all over public social media. I even called, he didn't answer.
No way, really?
For real, yes. His number was ringing and he didn't answer.
Did he have a voicemail?
No voicemail.
Wow, not even a voicemail. That's a shame.
So SmackDown also had...
Well, I do just want to make a quick comment on Johnny Knoxville, just because, I mean, I've never personally watched too much of Jackass. I've seen it here and there. I'm not sure if I should have said that word, but it is what it is. That is the entire program. But anyways, I don't really know much about him, but I do know that he seems to be willing to do anything, and we are getting an anything goes match with Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. Even though I don't even know who he is, I still think we're going to see some wild stunts, because that's what he's known for.
You just said that he's from Knoxville, right?
Is he?
Not Knoxville, from Jack, right?
That's my
So
name.
you do kind of know where he's from.
All right, well, I meant just, all right, besides the point, I don't know what I did there. But yeah, I'm just... don't really know much about his past is what I'm trying to say, even though like I've heard of it. I just still think that Johnny Knoxville has a decent amount to show in pro wrestling. He seems like he's into it. He's been around here and there since the Royal Rumble, of course, when he was in the Royal Rumble. And
do you think he will live up to Bad Bunny's WrestleMania performance?
You know, I don't know if anyone will be able to live up to Bad Bunny's performance. When Bad Bunny was in the ring, that blew my, like, I could not believe Bad Bunny was able to pull off a Panama Sunrise and just everything else that he was able to do. Bad Bunny truly worked his butt off to get to where he was in the business.
So as we go to commercial break, we will be talking about AEW, and there's supposed to be a new champion.
Yeah,
we'll find out when we come back
match
on the Burial Ground.
This job looks perfect. says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Major Discussions is the new show that explores the stories of students right here on campus. I personally came here to SUNY Oswego for the broadcasting program because I love to hear people's stories and to do work just like this.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us, and it's time to go into the world of AEW. And I think the biggest news from this past week has got to be the new women's champion, Thunder Rosa. Let's roll the footage. This was a brilliant match. Oh yeah, steel cage match. Referee goes down.
I love referee Aubrey.
Yep. Yeah, there was a moment earlier where Thunder Rosa was able to pin Britt Baker, but the referee, of course, wasn't around, so she couldn't get the title. And that was definitely a moment where the crowd was upset. This was, of course, in Thunder Rosa's hometown. Brutal bump right there onto a pile of steel chairs. And, of course, they had to do it. Had to bring out the thumbtacks. This was a bloody match. Lands back first.
You see what gear that Britt Baker's wearing?
I do, yeah. What about it?
No, that's a tribute to Scott Hall.
Wow.
From the Outsiders
yeah, it was.
NWO. Okay,
this is a finisher. Let's move right there. That's got to do it. New referee came back. 1, 2, 3.
We got a new AEW Women's Champion,
Thunder
Rosa.
Yeah, and then there's the celebration. Yeah, you could see how much this moment meant. She's been since the beginning, right? She was one of the original women on the roster when AEW debuted. This is her first ever women's championship, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it was a great match. I think Thunder Rosa, personally, I thought she's always stood out to me as one of the most talented women that they had. Just her look has stood out, of course, with the face paint.
Correct.
Like, she clearly has pride for what she does, and of course her origin, or her hometown, her home country, I should say. And yeah, like, she's been able to put on fantastic performances on a weekly basis pretty much since this company started. So it's just, it was a fantastic, I keep on saying fantastic, but that's all right. It was an amazing moment for her to just see what she has to do.
And of course, we're going to talk about the Hardys. They are back. Jeff has returned, not returned, but he has joined AEW last week, and he's in a match last week. Who is that?
That's against Private Party, of course, where the Hardys were able to face Private Party. And Jeff Hardy looked as good as ever in the ring.
He's 44.
Yep.
Still can go.
Oh yeah, and if
just
you
like
saw,
Styles.
They actually had another match on this past Dynamite, where of course we could not get the footage, unfortunately, because it was so recent. But Jeff Hardy pulled off some insane stunts in that one too, climbing up a ladder, doing a swanton bomb off of the windowsill, which was very, very high, I should add. And yeah, Jeff Hardy just doing what he does best.
That twist of fate.
Yeah, they hit the twist of fate there, hit the swanton, and the Hardy Boys got the win in their in their AEW tag team debut. And of course, Andrade and his whole crew showed up.
Is that Darby?
Oh yes, it is Darby Allin, and of course the Icon himself,
Sting.
Yep.
Sting's like 62, 63 years old right now.
He's still going.
And he could still go. Hardy and Sting and Darby won tonight against the Private Party, and
the Butcher and the Blade.
Yep, correct. Yep. In an epic 15-minute match. Do you think the Hardys will get after the tag titles?
I truly do hope so. I mean, I think that they deserve it. If anyone's going to get this title, or just get these opportunities. The Hardy Boys deserve it to have the only team, I think, in all sports to have the Ring of Honor tag team titles, the Impact tag titles, WWE, and of course AEW.
We have CM Punk tonight defeated Dax Harwood in a submission victory. But what is next to CM Punk? We don't know. I would think he would probably challenge for the AEW World title, but who knows? What do you think about Punk?
Yeah, well, Punk was always one of my favorites growing up, and the CM Punk-Jeff Hardy feud back in WWE, of course, that really hooked me in. Like, I was so into that. Just CM Punk being the straight-edge savior, Jeff Hardy being, to a certain extent, the exact opposite of that. They just clashed so well, and to see CM Punk succeeding as much as he has been in AEW just makes me think he is ready for that world title opportunity.
All right, so what about Mox and Danielson defeated the Varsity Bonds as well tonight?
Yeah, well, Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson are two of the most noteworthy names in all of AEW, and the fact that they teamed up with William Regal, of household name, one of the greatest stars in all of the industry, especially within Britain and that whole area. William Regal teaming up with them, they are some of the baddest men in all of wrestling. And
Correct.
You see what Daniel Bryan's able to do. Bryan Danielson
Correct.
and Jon Moxley has also just done so much for this company.
So what do you think? So as we come back to commercial break, we will be talking about our final segment, which is the Burial of the Week, our thoughts of upcoming show as in WrestleMania preview and some couple stipulations. We're going to be going to commercial break, and let's come back and watch the last segment of the Burial Ground.
See you soon.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Welcome back. Well, there aren't too many matches to choose from or wrestlers to choose from, but let's go right into it. Who do you think was the burial of the week? Who got buried the most?
I think my top burial of the week will be go to Kofi Kingston. Since
good choice.
the two of his New Day brother has been sidelined with injuries, he has been losing matches. 3 years ago, he was the main event of WrestleMania, which was Kofi Mania. He was on top of the world. Now he's at the lowest stages of his career. Dude doesn't even have a match going to WrestleMania, and he looked like he'd be outside looking in, since just like at WrestleMania 29, as he was a panel host. What do you think about your burial of the week?
Well, just as a quick comment, I hope that Kofi is entered into the Intercontinental title picture of some sort at WrestleMania in some sort of a ladder match. But my burial of the week is Apollo Crews, actually, and of course Commander Aziz, because both of them got pretty much their butts handed to them by Omos when they lost in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Last year, we saw Apollo Crews win the Intercontinental title, my coveted Intercontinental title, and this year they're kind of just losing on a consistent basis, and this week was no different. I thought it was pretty awful. But, you know, we do have some more unfortunate news to go through, and I think I'll let Clyde handle this.
The wrestling world has lost a legend named Scott Hall, a.k.a. Razor Ramon. He passed away this past Monday, if I'm not mistaken. My favorite moment of his was WrestleMania 10, and yours?
You know what? It's a great match, WrestleMania 10. That's the ladder match.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah. So that match had me when I was young, growing into the whole wrestling phase. That was one of the first classic matches that I witnessed, and that was some of the best wrestling I've seen from that point on. It was one of the first ever true ladder matches. It set the tone. And like I mentioned on our first ever episode, I'm a sucker for ladder matches, and I don't think we would get anything like that if it wasn't for how much of a success that match was.
So how about your luscious locks? We should
hey, all right, yeah,
we should take hair versus hair for our WrestleMania prediction show. We should do a prediction show. Whoever has the most wins, the loser loses his hair.
Loses his hair? We're gonna do a hair versus hair match? I don't know. I don't know if we should. I think we're gonna throw a couple of other options. I don't know about losing my hair. I could never. It's just so beautiful. I would never do it. No. What did you just say?
So childish.
Childish. No, I'm just not trying to go bald, brother. I could never. But whatever it may be. I do want to just real quick mention another upsetting news that we've heard recently. It has not been all positive in wrestling, as Big E, who a couple weeks ago got suplexed onto his head and broke a part of his neck. And the news recently is that we're not positive if he will ever be able to return to the ring due to the severity of the injury.
But we are hopeful that he will be returning back sooner rather than later.
Yep, he just won his first ever world title within the past year.
On Monday Night Raw against Bobby Lashley. So, next week we got our WrestleMania prediction show.
Yeah, it's
any
gonna be
quick
a great
predictions right now? Just one?
Quick predictions. You know what? I'm going to say 2 celebrities are going to win. Out of the 3 celebrities that are having a match, I'm going to guess 2 of them are going to win. I know it.
Okay.
WWE does not know how to book their wrestlers, so I think they're going to mess it up.
Okay, so thank you for watching The Burial Ground. My name is Clyde Anderson with my special guest host as well,
Jack Franzino. And for both of us, have a fantastic night.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups for
half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and daily access to experts to help your child thrive. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.